In this short video, I'm going to take you through the process of hooking TapeTrack up to an IBM zOS mainframe running the RMM tape management system. The first thing we're going to do is log into our TapeMaster application and take a look at the skeleton environment that we've set up. We've set up a single account with one media type, the 3592 cartridge type. And you can see here we have no tapes defined yet, and we've defined ourselves a number of repositories, one for legal hold, one for the tape library, one for the offsite vendor, and one for some on-site racking. Now the next thing we're going to do is log into our zOS environment. Once we've logged on, we're going to list our job deck, or list our datasets and take a look at our job deck. Now I'll run you through the steps of this job. The job should require very little customization. It's pretty much good to go out of the box. The first step calls batch TSO to list all of our RMM tapes using the TSO interface to RMM. The second step synchronizes TapeTrack with the RMM output. We have a third step that produces a file for Iron Mountain telling them which tapes to return and which tapes we'll be sending them that day. We have modules for other offsite vendors. In this case, we're using our Iron Mountain module. We then produce a full inventory of our tape library just for reporting purposes, and our final step produces a picking and distribution list. Now if we submit this job and then go and take a look at our output, you'll see we have a job running here. It's gone through pretty quick and it's gone through each of the steps. One of the things that I did do in this was I restarted at the second step. I have a data set with the RMM output on there just to make it a little bit quicker. Normally you would list the RMM output. You'd normally submit the job through a job scheduling system such as Tivoli, what do they call it? TWS, Tivoli Workload Scheduler. It used to be called OPC, but you know, in the interest of marketing, they've renamed it to something else. Now, if we have a look at our output here, you can see that for each of our steps, in our standard error for the sync, it'll give you a blow-by-blow description of what it's doing, which tapes it's requested back, and some statistics at the end. Then we have our Iron Mountain report, or our Iron Mountain transmission file. You can see here that we're requesting 2 tapes back, or actually the 2 tapes which are going to Iron Mountain. We have our full listing of all of our tapes. We don't have many in this particular example. And we have a picking and distribution list showing tapes moving from the data center location over to Iron Mountain. Now, what would normally happen, that Iron Mountain transmission file would be FTP'd up to Iron Mountain. Their parser pulls it in, so you don't have to log on to Secure Sync web interface and do any of that stuff anymore. If we go back into TapeTrack TapeMaster, what we'll see is we have now 14 tapes, of which 2 are moving, and we can see here on the right hand side each of our tapes and where they are and where they're moving to. So we've got 2 tapes which are moving. There looks like there's a time difference between our TapeTrack server and the workstation here. We keep track of how long a tape is moving for. This tape has been moving for less than 1.5 minutes. So once we catch up, we'll be able to see exactly how long the tape's been moving for, give or take 90 seconds. Now, we've got 2 tapes here which are moving from our data center over to Iron Mountain. If I double click on here and go to my Identity tab, have a look at our update statistics, you can see here that this tape was last updated by the Iron Mountain interface. When we request tapes back from Iron Mountain, we register that, and that's done through the Iron Mountain interface. You can see it was updated by a zOS environment, And if we go over to our history, you can see that we added our tape and then we moved it over to Iron Mountain, and we can see here that we requested that tape to go to Iron Mountain, so they had a record of it. Now, if we close out our Tape Master interface and go down to our Windows integration, you can see here we have a TapeTrack folder, and we can see that our customer here has 14 tapes, of which 2 are moving. If we double click on that, you'll see that we only have the one media type, the 3592 cartridge, and you can see here each of our tapes. So this interface allows you to interrogate your tape information without having to launch the Tape Master interface natively through the Windows environment.